Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are back. We are back with a brand new logo and a brand new perspective on the season because it's pretty much a brand new start. Like, let's start from minute one. Let's get cracking into this. Very, very excited for this one. Like I said, we are back and it's great to be back. The World Cup's still going on. That's why I've got my England shirt on. But the Championship is back on Friday night, I believe. I wish I'd not said that now. I think it's Friday night. Ollie, give me a nod. He's not giving me a nod. We are back on... No, it's Saturday. All the gates Saturday and then Sunday. So we will crack onto it in a second. I'm going to pop up on screen the results from last time because it seems like such a long time ago since we were doing these videos. So if you can see on screen right now, I went for a lot of 2-1s. That was the whole point of my predictions last time. And believe it or not, we came out with exactly the same scores. So I'm going to bring Ollie in right now just to go through these. How's it going, mate?
Hello.
To the stream.
Yes, thank you very much. It seemed like a fairly decent week, actually, to say on Friday night. My banker was a horrific fail, and it had gone by about 8:30. By half time, I was done. So it's nice to know that I turned it around a little bit after that.
You certainly did. Let me pop them back up on screen because, yeah, you got a 3-pointer in there, which is absolutely fantastic. My banker, I can't even remember who it was, but I know that it went absolutely belly up. But yeah, that's the fun thing about having this new banker. And it's even more funny that both of us absolutely tanked with the banker. But somebody didn't, did they, Ollie?
No, somebody absolutely nailed it. So, and it was one of them where I thought, you know what, it's been so long post World Cup, maybe we don't want to be bringing up previous viewer scores. But Keith Whitaker did an absolute madness. He got his banker spot on perfect score. He got about 3 other perfect scores for, I think, our new record weekly score of 18 points. Insane. Absolutely insane.
18 points. Who'd have thunk it? Now, obviously, that wouldn't have probably been a thing if it wasn't for the banker, but that is still absolutely. It's great to get to pick the banker on the first week. That is a correct score.
Straight up, bang, done. Keith has just shown us exactly what we should be doing.
Joe, you sounded like Chris Wilder then. You've been hanging around with Chris Wilder way too much. In there, bang, done, next.
In, week, out, done.
Yeah, that's the one, isn't it? I'm trying to remember what it was. Anyway, mate, like we've nearly gone to 3 minutes without getting into it. I don't really want to get into it because I'm just enjoying being back, chatting to you and stuff.
So nice.
But I think we've got to do it. So the first game is Blackburn Rovers versus Preston North End. Take the floor, my friend.
Yeah, a weird one this. Is it a derby? Is it not a derby? It's another one of those teams all around Greater Manchester where you don't actually know if they hate each other or not. But, you know, Preston had such a memey start to the season, is what I'm going to call it. But they ended up with 18 goals scored and they ended up tying with Erling Haaland. So there's all to play for in the second half of the season. Who knows where it's going to go? Blackburn had a fantastic start, but I don't think many people expect them to be able to keep it up. I think they've put themselves in a great position, but they will drop away. And I think it will start this weekend and they will lose 1-0 at home.
I'm with you. I can see that happening completely. But at the same time, first game after the World Cup, maybe just try not to lose. I can see Blackburn absolutely falling down the division. But also, every now and then, they just turn up and win the game of football. And I'm not too sure about Blackburn. They're a weird side. But yeah, I've gone for a 1-1 draw. They're all going to be tough to call these.
Blackburn's first draw, if it comes in, of course. They didn't get any in the first half of the season. Maybe they'll get one first game back.
They've got to get one at some point. They've got to.
You'd think so.
You would. Now, let's move on to Rotherham United versus Bristol.
City.
Bristol. Bristol. Go on, Ollie. What are you thinking this is going to be?
I get called out every time now. So I've got people messaging me specifically to say, it's Bristol City. So I've got to really rein it in. But, Rotherham have started really well. Everyone thinks they've had a fantastic start to the season. They look, table-wise at least, well clear of the relegation zone, but it is still only 3 points. So their main focus going forward is going to be keep that gap, don't get dragged in. Whereas Bristol City are below Rotherham. They had a terrible run towards the World Cup, only won 1 of their last 8 in the middle of an injury crisis, but they will hope that they can turn it around and they can get some of those players back fit and playing. So, of course, this is going to be boring as anything and finish 0-0.
There you go. It's on screen right now. No, it's not. Yes,
It
it is. There we go. Oh, and it's gone again. I think I must have pressed it way too many times. And it's still not coming back up. But I will just say right now, because I know it's going to flash up and off again. I've gone for a 2-1 to Rotherham. There we go. It'll bound to go off in a second because I've clicked it way too many times. Rotherham 2-1, and you've gone for a 0-0 draw. I was the same. I was thinking this could go either way. But before we get into looking at our comments and who's gone for what in this Rotherham game, I need to pop up on screen right now. Damien Heaven, £5. Thank you so much. Ollie, do you want to answer his question?
I'm feeling confident, I actually think England stand a pretty good chance in this one. I think France are a very good side. They have a very scary attack. But I just got a lot of confidence in this England team at the moment. I think defensively, we are quite strong despite individual errors being possible. And I think that they've got mistakes in them as well. I think we can get at them. I think we've got fast, dynamic attackers, and I think we can win the game.
There you go. So thank you. I agree. I agree with everything that he's saying. I think it's time to be positive with England and stop being so negative. And actually, that's come from a Welsh fan as well, as you can see, Swansea City lad. And he's got the Welsh dragon on there too. So fair play for that. Thank you very much for that's our first donation we've ever had on one of these videos. So if anybody else wants to get in the donations, get on the super chat right now, guys. Thank you very much, Damien.
Very much appreciated. I'm currently wrapped in a blanket, which I would show you all, because I can't afford my heating. So every £5 appreciated.
Well, that £5 will go straight to Ollie to get his heating back on. So thank you very much, Damien. Also, what I will say, I've got a massive, massive cold. So I've got a Hogwarts cauldron style mug with Beecham's in it at the moment. So you can probably tell I've got a bit of a cold. So I'm going to try and talk less and let my ego go for once and let Ollie talk and talk and talk. So let me pop up on screen. Joachim's gone for 3-0 Rotherham. So fair play, Rotherham. They're going to take this game to Bristol City. Adam's gone for a 2-1 Bristol City win. We've got a 2-0. We've got a 2-1 Millers. A lot of people going for Rotherham. And James Stribley's thrown in his England score there as well. I hope James Stribley is correct. Anyway,
don't we all?
Let's move on from that one. Let's move on to Blackpool versus Birmingham City. What are you going for in this game, mate?
Blackpool, 23rd, 4 defeats on the spin, absolutely dropping before the World Cup break. Whereas Birmingham go the other way. At the start of the season, we're all saying rock bottom of the league. They're a crisis club. What chance have they got? They proved that to be nonsense. And yet, now we've had a long break. Now we're back almost at a new season because there's been a few weeks off. Teams have got to really try and hit the ground running again. And I think that's really tough for a team like Birmingham who were just starting to really pump themselves up the table. I think this is an entertaining draw, and I'm thinking it's going to be 2-2.
Right. Okay. Fair enough. Now, I'm glad you said what you did at first because I think this is a new dawn, and I think it's going to go the opposite way. I think Blackpool are thinking this is time for us to, let's go again. Let's go again. And Blackpool, they haven't been terrible in that first half of the season. They'd scored quite a lot of goals. They did really, really well at Bramall Lane. And if it wasn't for 2 silly red cards, they'd have beaten us at Bramall Lane. So I think they're still fighting that Blackpool team. It's half time. It's only half time.
Well, and we also know that there's goals in that Blackpool team, so they've always got a chance.
Goals!
Don't remind me. I'm not doing it again.
Oh, God. I quite enjoyed that, actually. Now, let's move on to Middlesbrough versus Luton because I popped this on screen about 5 minutes ago. So let's talk about it. Middlesbrough absolutely flying, or they were before the World Cup. Are they still going to be flying, Ollie?
I think so. I think they will. I've got them written down as what a contender for the most underperforming team pre-World Cup. But then again, there is another elephant in the room with that. But we'll be talking about West Brom later on. I think Carrick's really had a chance to work with his players. I think he's got them drilled into how he wants to take it forward. One thing that does concern me is the attitude of the Middlesbrough players. I would worry that they really seem to down tools earlier in the season. They're a talented group, so that they weren't able to perform consistently is something that could hold them back. But they'll really fancy being able to kick on, really push towards the playoffs. Luton are a decent side, but I think the momentum carries, and I think Middlesbrough win the game at home. 2-1.
Yeah, I agree. I've gone for a 2-0 Middlesbrough win. I think Luton will be there or thereabouts this season, but Borough are on this train, and I think it's going to continue. I really do. Now, let's talk about all things Millwall Football Club, which is Ollie's favourite team, as we always say.
Indeed. And I've got to back my boys. So it's 1-0 win, home win for Millwall. And I think a lot of that is about Wigan. I think it came as a massive shock to everybody that they let go of Liam Richardson. I think it's even more of a shock that they brought Kolo Toure in. Have they gone for a name rather than somebody with any kind of experience? It's a fantastic chant, though, admittedly.
I wonder if they're going to do it, even though Yaya Toure's got no affiliation with Wigan at all.
No, I know, but there's just something about it that you've got to join in and you've got to enjoy that. But I don't think it's going to work for him. I think they're going down. I think it's probably a poor change, poor replacement. And so I think this is a comfortable home win, albeit only 1-0.
Yeah, I think most people are agreeing with you. Not Damien for this one,
Not
but he gave us
Damien.
£5. So I agree with him wholeheartedly until I just pop this on screen right now and say 3-1 Millwall. I think this is going to be a steamrolling by Millwall. I think they're going to get a lot of corners, going to score some goals from corners, get those big boys up top for them. And I think they're going to be a bit too much for Wigan in this game. But stranger things have happened. Let's move on to talking about Reading versus Coventry City. And Coventry City finally got their act together after everything going wrong. I'm going to say off the pitch, but it's kind of not on the pitch, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly that.
Because
I think
they weren't on that pitch.
They were never on the pitch. And that's just such an issue for Coventry. As you'll know, I changed my prediction for this one. I'd originally done my predictions. I was very confident. Coventry are a great team. They were really starting to show their level. They were pushing up towards the playoffs, getting away from that relegation zone and putting the past behind them. And then Mike Ashley buys the stadium and he tells them, not for you guys. Nope, I'm sorry, but you're not going to be playing at the Rico. And that's just a disaster. I mean, this was a real opportunity for Coventry to say, put that start behind us. We've done fantastic to get ourselves out of trouble. Let's really kick on. And that's just going to pull the legs out from underneath them. Whereas Reading started brilliantly and they were just dropping. And I thought they were going to continue to drop. But this now, given the mental stress that's probably put on the Coventry team, the Coventry squad, the Coventry fans, I think there's a chance of getting a result. I don't think they're going to do it, but I think they'll get a point. 1-1.
Oh, okay.
You know I changed my mind after this.
You did. You changed your mind. Sorry about that,
Told you I
mate.
changed my
You've
mind.
gone for 1-1. I've gone for 1-1. Ignore what's on screen. Yeah, it was a last minute, put everything together today. So I do.
It was also a last minute changing of my mind for the reasons I explained, because obviously when I saw the news about Mike Ashley, the first thing I thought was, oh God, that's really going to disrupt Coventry. And as much as I'm confident in their team, I just think that this is too much for them.
Yeah. Fair enough, mate. Fair enough. Now, let's move on to the big boys, the boys that we cannot wait to see on Saturday against Huddersfield Town. It's Sheffield United, our football club, if you didn't know that already from the channel name. I'm going to start off by saying I just can't wait to get to Bramall Lane, and I'm sure that everybody else in the comments right now, if you support a championship club, you will be buzzing to get back into a ground, because I'd have loved to have gone to Qatar. Well, no, I wouldn't have loved to have gone to Qatar. I'd have loved to have watched a World Cup game in person, but not gone to Qatar. But yeah, going back to Bramall Lane to play a Huddersfield Town side that have really, really dropped this season. After last season's fantastic run, they have been rubbish. And to be fair, they weren't too far away from the promised land as well. If a couple of refereeing decisions would have gone their way, they may have even got there. But yeah, that's all in the past, and it's evident because they are really, really not doing very well. So, mate, I have gone for a big 3-1. And what is that yellow/gold mean? The banker.
The banker, as if you've bankered United.
Banker.
As if you've bankered United. I can't even put a pound on United in the easiest game ever. Never risking a banker on United. But I do think this is a good one to have done it for. I think United had a fantastic start to the season. We're second, 3 points off top, despite a 6-game winless run, despite all the injuries. So getting some of those players back is massive. Huddersfield, as you say, are having an absolute shocker. So I understand your confidence. I respect the banker. Wouldn't have done it myself.
Fair enough, mate. But looking at all these, Hal, 1-0. Michael, 4-0. 2-1. 1-0. 1-0. Everybody going for the blade. So I'm going to take that as banker done well. However, I might be coming back on here after the weekend and been saying, yeah, you were right, Ollie. You were right. However, let's move on. Let's talk about Stoke City versus Cardiff City. And what is it? The Battle of the Cities.
Battle of the Cities. There's always one, Nick. There's always one.
There's another one coming up straight after this one too.
My notes on these teams is these are two teams who played 21 games in the Championship before the break.
Okay, fantastic.
4 in this one, 0-0, and I'm writing it off.
And we were our last game before the World Cup was Cardiff City away. We were so bad in that match. So bad. No attacking threat whatsoever from either side, really, to be honest. Yeah. And we somehow came away with a win. So that just... And George Baldock scoring it.
George Baldock scoring. Oh.
What are they doing? But, not the most exciting of teams. I've gone for a 1-0 win. You've gone for a 0-0. Who cares? There's one goal in this game. And it could go to anyone. It might even go to the referee. Who knows? Now, let's go for... But I've not even brought any comments on the screen because nobody cares. Nobody cares.
I'm surprised we leave Anthony on that game.
Who cares? Yeah. Battle of the Cities again. Swansea City versus Norwich City. Ollie, what are you going for?
Well, I think this will be a proper Battle of the Cities. I think this is going to be entertaining. I think this is going to be an actually decent game that people might pay attention to. Norwich started really sloppily, went on a fantastic run, ended pretty sloppily. So I've got no idea where their level is. I think they've proved they can be a top team in the Championship, but so did Swansea. Swansea put together an unbelievable run in the middle of that last chunk of games. They won numerous games in a row, really fired themselves up, and are only outside the playoffs on goal difference. So I think this is a really good game, and I think it's going to be a lot more entertaining than my score prediction says. 1-1.
1-1. Exactly the same as Gaza. Gaza's saying the exact same as you. He's going for 1-1-2. We've also got a 2-2 from James Stripley. We've also got a 0-0. Everybody going for draws in this game. That does seem like that could really happen. I've just gone for Norwich having a little bit too much for them in this game. I don't particularly think Swansea are going to pull up many trees this season. And I think Norwich needed that break to go again. Now, let's move on to QPR versus Burnley. And Burnley absolutely flying, obviously, by looking at the league and looking at how good they're playing. QPR were flying since lost their manager too. What we're thinking?
It's a weird one, when Mick, I'm staying for integrity and loyalty because they're important to me, Beale, then decides to up and leave about 2 weeks later. It's really hard to know what impact that's going to have on the squad. Burnley, I think, are the best team in the division, and I think that ultimately they're the ones who are going to kick on in this second half and win the league. But will QPR want to prove a point? Will they want to say, actually, integrity and loyalty are important? And I think they've got it in them to do it. I think this will be a great game. I think both teams are going to go all out for it. Not sure either of them are exactly solid defensively. A massive 3-3.
3-3. There it is. It's on screen right now. I've just gone for a Burnley nicker, but I can see that being 3-3. I really can. I'm not even joking. When I saw that you'd gone for that, I'm thinking, should have banked that. 100%.
Yeah,
Definitely going to happen.
I'm not risking a banker on a draw. I don't think that's possible. You don't risk your banker on a draw.
No. Especially not a 3-3 draw. Do you know what? If you want to change that and have that as your banker, I'll give you a double banker.
I'm all right, you know. I'm still not willing to take that risk.
No, I don't think I would if I were you. James has gone for a 2-0 QPR win.
2-0 QPR.
Another 2-0 QPR. 2-2, 1-1. I'm the only one that seems to think that top of the league Burnley are going to win this game. Anyway, let's move on to another team that seem like they're going to fly at the second half of this season, which is Hull. I mean, I'm joking. It's Watford. They've just signed Ismaila Kone, which was the player that we were after, which was the player that we did a video on this channel. So if any Watford fans out there want to have a look at how good Kone is, we told you on this channel when we thought we were signing him. But no, I'm sure he'll be a very exciting player, which I'm devastated about. And they've got some other very exciting players. Not so many good defenders. Many good attackers, though.
So many good attackers. I think it's a question similar to a question we should have asked about United. We can ask about Watford. Is Ismaila Sarr going to be back in time to start this game? You know, it's a week since they were knocked out of the World Cup, just under. Have they come back? Have they been involved in training? Are they really ready to go again? Not just physically, but mentally as well. So obviously it's a really tough thing to not just have the highs of going through in the World Cup, then have the lows of getting absolutely spanked in the first knockout round. But for me, this is the banker. This is the banker, Nick, and it's the home banker. Watford are going to win this game comfortably. A comfortable banker.
Go on then. Do you want to do it?
Banker.
Love that a lot. As you can see on screen, it's in gold. It's his banker. He's gone for a big 5-1 Watford win. Fair enough. I don't think we'll see another banker that has 6 goals in it this season. So fair enough to you. But I've gone for a comfortable. When I say comfortable, I don't mean Ollie comfortable game. I mean an easily comfortable 2-0 win. Happy go lucky. Thank you very much. Move on to the next game.
I just want to guarantee myself, I think this is the most certain result I can think of. And Damien knows. Damien knows. Always
he knows something. He is a time traveler. He has seen it all, and you are going to walk away with 6 sweet points after this one, Ollie.
And you're going to have egg on your face.
And Daniel's saying, "I see Hull winning that game."
No, Daniel.
Do you know what? I'm going to clip that. I'm going to clip that. If Hull go and beat Watford away, I'm going to clip that. No, Daniel. Damn, Daniel. Now let's move on to Sunderland versus West Brom. And Sunderland being the only team that have played a game since the World Cup.
I would wager they played against somebody, Nick, but I understand your point.
Very good. And a good, all right, then they're the only team that has won since the World Cup in the Championship.
Indeed. And they were big winners, 3-0 at home. That's impressive. I think that's a really good win for them coming back. I think West Brom, though, were the biggest underperformers. I touched on it earlier. They are the team that most underperformed in that first half of the season. I really rate Cobran as a manager. We've talked about how good Huddersfield were last year. Look at them now. Is that purely the impact of him? No, they did lose some key players, but he obviously did a magical job with them. And I think he can replicate it at West Brom. I think he'll really get them firing. But the Stadium of Light is such a tough place to go. Sunderland have started. They've got some match fitness back. They know where they're going. And I think both teams will be pretty happy with a 1-1 draw here. And I think both teams will get it.
Fair enough. There we go. I'll pop all those on screen, and I'll now pop on that 1-1 of yours. I've gone for a 2-1 Sunderland win. I was thinking 1-1 was going to be my score, but I just edged Sunderland after that great win recently. What I'm going to do finally, I'm going to throw in there an England score prediction as well, because I think that it's only right that if we go for an England score prediction now, and then whoever gets it right gets 3 big points. I think no correct score, just got to get it bang on the head. So I've only just thought of that. So I've not thought of anything. So I'm going to go for an England 3-2 win.
No, I disagree. England 1-0. I think it's going to be, for 45 minutes, one of those really boring USA-style games. Both teams are happy to concede the ball, let the other team try and come onto them. They want to create space for Mbappe running in. We just want to take that tempo out. We want to try and make sure that we get our quick sort of attacking players down there. Eventually, I think they'll try and come out and we will hit them on the break. I think Bellingham will really be one who stands out, who makes a massive difference. And so he's the difference maker. England to win. And if I was sticking money on it, Harry Kane to score. A penalty, probably.
Yes. A penalty? What?
It's a very Harry Kane.
Oh, sorry, you said Harry Kane. I had Harry Maguire in my head. Then I'm like, Harry Maguire taking a penalty. To be fair, he can take
It's an absolute banger of a penalty, Nick. We all know that.
Don't say that, because I was thinking this. Harry Maguire smashes penalties high. I don't want another Chris Waddle situation to happen. I'm worried about that. Let's never talk about that ever again. I never said that. It's not going to happen. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you very much, Ollie. I thought I'd add that England score prediction in there just to make Ollie's job a lot harder when it comes to doing all the scores. So all you need to do, copy and paste every single championship team, give us your score prediction, and then pop England at the bottom as a cheeky little extra. But don't forget about your banker. Put a big B in brackets at the end of that, and you get double points for that one. Ollie, it's been emotional. Thank you very much for being here, as always.
So nice to be back. So nice to be focusing on proper football. I've loved it, Nick.
Proper football. That means we don't want to go up to the Premier League with all them Nancy boys. So let's play proper football. Let's stay in this division and let's start losing some games. Anyway, no, I'm joking. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.